How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about 77-year-old billionaire and former New York City mayor Michael Bloomberg throwing his name into the hat of 2020 Democratic presidential hopefuls less than 3 months away from the very first primary election. Now, there's a whole lot to quote-unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say, but let's start from the very top. Why does it matter that Mike Bloomberg is trying to become the president on the Democratic side? Does he have a chance? Does anybody really care? I'm going to address all those things and a few more things that may not have come across your mind. First of all, like I said from the beginning, Michael Bloomberg is a billionaire, so he is going to fund all of this, or at least the front end of it, with his own cash. That's one thing he has over the other Democratic presidential hopefuls, okay? He's already going to spend like $31 million on anti-Trump ads. He's going to do a lot of, just money showering. He's going to throw money everywhere to try and get his name out there more than what it is. Because quite frankly, right now, I don't think the average American knows who Michael Bloomberg is. I mean, if you're like me and a lot of other people, you know, because you're in the news and the politics, but your regular everyday person going to work every day, taking care of their kids, they don't know who this guy is at all. But he's going to put a lot of money into ads to try and change that. And it might be kind of an effective strategy, especially right now when the candidates don't have too many eyes on them. The focus is pretty much on the impeachment and Trump himself, not so much about those that are trying to run. I mean, look at the front runner right now, who is probably Pocahontas, who has no real money of her own, is not really trusted, a liar. Bernie Sanders has had a heart attack. Lost a lot of juice he had. He had juice back in like 2016 in that time, but a lot of that has been lost. The field is pretty weak. You just had Deval Patrick come in, Barack Obama's friend. Maybe he'd be able to get something going. Maybe not. I can't tell, but I digress. To get back to Bloomberg, he has plenty of money to be able to throw around and to make some things happen, even at the 0 hour, which we at right now. Like I said, less than 3 months away, right around 10 weeks away from the first primary election. Now, of course, Bernie and Pocahontas alike, they're both anti-success, anti-business, anti-billionaire. So they're speaking out against them, talking about this ain't fair. You can't buy an election. This shouldn't be what it is. You should be out there on the ground, this, that, and the third. Now, Bloomberg's campaign chair, staffer, whatever, was on television this morning, and he was saying, look, I understand we kind of coming in late at the 0 hour. We've missed some of the Iowa stuff, this, that, and the third, but check it out. We have money, so we'll be able to pay for advertisement to get our name out there that way, rather than pounding the pavement as much as some of our opponents in the Democratic Party have. So that's interesting. It's a valid point, though. However, Michael Bloomberg is also the owner of Bloomberg News. It's a pretty decent sized publication. I've read them a few times and they have some decent stuff on there, I would say. I don't really read them much, but the times I have read them, they weren't that bad. There was a memo released or a statement released from them. If I could find that, I'll link to it in the box. I'm not sure if it was from Michael Bloomberg himself or an internal thing, but different story, I digress. The point is that the document says that Bloomberg News will not be investigating their boss, Michael Bloomberg. That might have already been in place, so it's not anything new for the upcoming attempt at trying to become the president in 2020. They're also not going to investigate anybody on the Democratic side, because I guess that would be unfair. You're using this media organization to run hit pieces and do research, oppo research on your opponents on the Democratic side. However, there's nothing that's said about trying to exclude Trump from any kind of investigation of Bloomberg News. And they say it's because he is the government of today. So, I mean, you got people that are in the race right now that are in the government. Kamala Harris, is she still the senator in California? I'm not really sure. If she's not, at one point she was. Same thing with Joe Biden, Pocahontas, Bernie Sanders, and others. They are in government, or they have been in government very recently. So why are they not excluded from this bar on investigation, but Trump is? So you're going to get into Trump's background, all that kind of stuff, using Bloomberg News while you're trying to become the president. There is your opponent, sir. You're trying to become the president on the Democratic side. When I first saw he was running, I thought that he might be trying to run as a Republican because he has donated to Republicans before. I'm like, okay, he's trying to like primary Trump or something like that. But no, he's trying to be the Democratic nominee. So Trump is your direct competition. So if you're going to use Bloomberg to investigate him, but not investigating your quote unquote fellow Democrats or yourself, isn't that biased? This brings me to my point about the mainstream media openly being biased. Okay, you have a guy that's trying to become the president using his news organization that's pretty big, not some kind of little ragtag mom and pop multi-million-dollar business. Okay, using that to investigate and attack your rival on the other side. It'd be the equivalent of Jeff Bezos coming out and using Amazon and Washington Post to attack Trump, to research Trump, to run negative ads against Trump, etc. Because Jeff Bezos owns both of those companies I mentioned. That would not be fair, according to Michael Bloomberg's logic. If it's not fair to investigate your Democratic opponents, why is it fair to investigate your Republican opponents? Singular, just one, because anybody else really gonna, I mean, who else? Joe Walsh, all these nuts, they ain't gonna do nothing. But anyway, I'll move on. My point is that the media are very biased, not just in an obvious way like Bloomberg News and Michael Bloomberg trying to become the president. And then my question would be, if you become the president, sir, are you still going to keep Bloomberg News? I mean, wouldn't that just be your propaganda outlet? You own it physically. Like some may say it's Fox or whatever, but Fox does whatever they want. They're not owned by Trump. But if you own Bloomberg News, you're the boss. You make the decisions. How is anybody going to come in and say that you got to change the way you operate? If you really were about it, Mr. Bloomberg, you would just sell your stake in Bloomberg News. I know it's like 92%, but that's fine, right? You got money, right? Don't even worry about it. You're a billionaire. You can take that loss, right? Isn't that right? It was funny. I saw Bloomberg staffer guy on television, and that's kind of what made me think he'd be running as a Republican, because the guy was saying some conservative things, at least for the little bit of time that I saw him on television. He was saying that the Bloomberg staff and Bloomberg himself are being attacked for trying to quote unquote buy the election. They're getting ad buys late in the game, and they're trying to make up ground that they lost by not being in the game early with the money, and that'd be quote unquote buying the election. But the Democrats who are attacking them, according to the staffer, are trying to buy the election through promises. Oh, Medicare for all, healthcare, jobs, minimum wage. You're going to spend trillions of the taxpayers' money. Michael Bloomberg spending his own money that he earned. The Democratic Party nowadays, you can't say you earned some money. How dare you say you earned some money? No, you didn't build that. That's a Barack Obama thing. That's pretty much where the left is nowadays. So it was kind of confusing. As I close, I want to say this. I don't think Bloomberg has a snowball's chance and you know where, because he might be a little bit too far right for the left and a little bit too far left for the right. Meaning people that may want to vote for a guy like him that's kind of different are not going to be very high in number. He may have some success trying to become libertarian, but it would not be a Ross Perot, George H.W. situation. It'd be more like Gary Johnson against Donald Trump or the left. That'd pretty much be what it is. This guy has money to be able to spend, but will it generate into votes? It could on the left, but I doubt it at this particular point in the game. I think the candidate is still going to be Pocahontas, maybe even Joe, if he can just stay on his feet for the next 2.5 months, maybe. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Michael Bloomberg has a chance to become the president on the Democratic side, or at least the nominee? Not the president. That's not really a thing. But that's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. Do you think it's a big time conflict of interest that he has Bloomberg News while trying to become the president? He's not going to investigate anybody on the left or himself, but he will investigate Donald Trump. Is that a conflict of interest? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. How do you feel about him buying all these millions of dollars in ads all over the country to make up lost ground? 31 million here, 100 million here. Is that a good thing, bad thing? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.